Kincade and Salciunas on a Victory Monday morning here on 97.5 The Fanatic. If you're just joining us, our questions today, they're fun questions because the Eagles beat the Ravens in Baltimore yesterday.
Okay, it's a great win.
And, dude, it's 8 straight. They've won 8 straight games, the Eagles have. So our question, just how far is this Eagles team going? If you want to say Super Bowl, don't be afraid to say it because John said it last week.
Yeah, but I was saying it with the disclaimer, go win it at the Ravens.
Yeah, but
and show me you can contain Lamar. Show me you can contain Derrick Henry. And they did yesterday. They contained both of those guys. They didn't shut them down.
Yeah.
That's all you need to do, though.
That's all you need to do. Yeah.
You don't need to.
But you know what? They pretty much did shut them down. They only scored 12 points. They scored 19, but it was a garbage time touchdown. It was a 12-point game for the Ravens. So how far is this team going? But if you're not ready to put your chest down and say Super Bowl yet, answer this question for us at 610-632-0975. You can text in or you can call in. What makes this Eagles team so dangerous? What's one of the first things that comes to your mind when you hear that question asked? Because there's a million things to it, offensively and defensively. So I want to do this, John. We had a lot of concerns with this team before the season started. I think every team going into a season has concerns.
Sure we did.
Obviously, the first 4 weeks of the season was not as fun as it is now.
No.
And even right after the bye week, that Browns game wasn't necessarily great for the Eagles.
Well, that was Nick Sirianni's public mental breakdown.
It was a horrible day for Nick Sirianni, and that's why we had a field day with it or a field week with it, because it led to questioning about whether or not he would hold this team back. So I want to address the concerns that we have seen so far, and have they been addressed by the team? So my number one thing before the season started was the pass rush.
Okay.
They're getting to the quarterback.
They're getting consistently to the quarterback.
Whether it's just straight rushes by the guys on the edge or Vic Fangio's calling timely blitzes. We saw Zach Bond get to Lamar Jackson yesterday. We saw Nakobe Dean get to Lamar Jackson yesterday. It doesn't necessarily mean sacks, but it means then making him jump out of the pocket and a play breaks down. And sometimes he's Lamar and he's got magic, or sometimes it doesn't go in the Ravens' favor. So my biggest concern was whether or not the Eagles' pass rush could get home, and they're doing that, John.
Yeah, they are.
What was yours? Let's all remind the people what our biggest concern was preseason.
My biggest concern was the idea is that, and I didn't have a concern as far as with the offense, which I now sort of do. My biggest concern was that this defense wasn't going to be able to adjust fast enough. I thought they were too thin. I thought that the secondary was too young. Thought it was too young. I was like, I don't think they have the talent on the back end, and I didn't think that. And I thought the young guys were going to take a long time to come around.
Yeah, it wasn't that you weren't excited for them.
I was excited to see it, but I didn't think that they were ready to make a huge impact. I thought they'd be the best team in their division, but honestly, even after the Cleveland game, that Monday we came in after the Cleveland game, the public meltdown of Nick Sirianni, the kids at the press conference, the whole 9 yards, I never in a million years would have thought that I'd wake up like today. I would have said zero chance.
Yeah.
Zero. That team would have gone on the run that it's gone on.
Especially because of what happened last year. Like, let's be honest. You saw what happened last year, the collapse, and then you see that Sirianni, as you mentioned, was having a public meltdown.
Yes.
It looked like it was heading in a horrible direction. Connor, what was your biggest concern before the season started?
Mine was always the head coach, and you guys were just touching on it. And that's the weird thing about the Nick Sirianni effect, because he's a really, really good head coach, like 75 to 80% of the time. And then there's like that 20 to 25%. Well, we'll call it like 15 to 20% where he's just like, okay, but he makes some weird decisions.
Sure.
And then there's 5% where he implodes. And that hasn't changed, but I think we just acknowledge more the good parts of his coaching when things are going well like this. So my concerns are not totally gone with him having a game like he did against the Jaguars or having a game like he did against, the Saints earlier on in the season. But
I think they've been addressed. Like, there was a play yesterday in the fourth quarter where they were running clock. I think it was the 3rd and 7 run by Saquon. He's throwing in that situation in the past. 3rd and 7, I'm going to throw the football, even though you have Saquon Barkley.
They caught them off guard.
They ran the football. Saquon Barkley gets the first down.
He got
the
9,
drive
I think,
continues. Right? The clock continues. Like, some of the things the even though Sirianni's not calling plays, he's still calling, hey, pass or throw in this situation. Or he stepped aside completely. I don't know.
Or, no. He has the right to overrule.
Yes.
So obviously the game plan that they went into, he could speak into his headset and say, oh, no. We're throwing it here.
Yeah. And that's not happening. Like, these decisions aren't happening anymore.
Well, like, he's been amazing. And I think he's done a great job over this 8-game win streak. I really do. I'm not trying to take anything away from him.
I see a butt coming.
Nick Sirianni is like a dormant volcano, right? You could tell, like Mount Fuji in Japan. It's like not going to erupt for thousands and thousands of years. But I still look at it and I say, that is a volcano. You can tell me all the time, okay, scientists say it's not going to erupt, but you know that deep down in there somewhere there could be one of those games. So always in the back of my mind with Nick Sirianni, that's what I think. But I'm not saying that to take away from anything he's doing. I don't wake up every day in fear of Nick Sirianni ruining this. I just say that if you still have that concern in the back of your mind, I can't blame you.
You understand it.
Yeah. Exactly.
Now,
that's very reasonable.
First 4 weeks, I think the offense was obviously the biggest concern because it just it either wasn't moving or when it did move, they couldn't capitalize. They couldn't score touchdowns in the red zone. Hurts was having turnover issues. All that's been addressed.
It's still
Hurts is but he's not turning the football over.
I got you.
He's they are moving downfield more consistently, not in the beginning of the game. And they are finding their way in the end zone when getting to the red zone. But
it's still my biggest concern, though.
And so I get a tweet from Mike on Twitter. You were tagged in it as well.
What's up, Mike?
Now, I don't like the first sentence. We can have a cordial conversation, but don't start off with "don't get too excited."
Stop
because
it.
I'm sorry.
Stop
the Eagles
it.
have won 8 freaking straight games. They just won on the road in Baltimore and on the road in L.A. Let's not act like coming back from the West Coast and then playing Baltimore is an easy thing to do.
Exactly.
That's very difficult to do. So pipe down with your
Stop
don't
with
get too
that.
excited. Don't give me, we also lucked out that Tucker left points on the field.
Ridiculous.
That may be true, but you know what else, Mike? That means they weren't giving up touchdowns. They were just letting Baltimore get in the field goal
They weren't
range.
even letting him get inside. He missed a 48-yarder and a 53-yarder, which means he wasn't even getting close to the red zone.
He adds, who knows how much that would have changed the game. It's not like the Eagles have been dominant from beginning to end. Now, that last sentence, it's not like they've been dominant from beginning to end. Offensively, that is true.
No, that's true.
On offense, not defense. Defense, they've been dominant.
I swear to you, that to me is the first thing that's aggravated me this morning. That just is ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
You're not going to dominate the Baltimore Ravens in their building for 4 quarters.
No.
You're not going to shut down Lamar Jackson. You're not going to shut down Derrick Henry. But you know what they damn well did yesterday? They kept them from slitting their throats.
Yeah.
Come on now. Stop with this. Oh, well, what? So Detroit Lions fans shouldn't be excited? Buffalo Bills fans shouldn't be excited?
Yeah.
Stop it with this. Oh, don't get too excited.
Yeah, don't get too
you know what? They're excited this morning in Buffalo. By the way, our buddy Goldie, who grew up around here, does morning radio in Detroit.
Okay.
You know what they're talking about this morning?
The Eagles.
Are the Lions still the best team in the NFC?
Love that.
So just think about it. While you got other people saying, don't get excited. No, I'm going to get excited. I'm not going to apologize for being excited. Get excited.
I responded, Mike, by the way.
Come on, Mike.
Yeah.
Well, those are the 3 words I said.
You say, come on, Mike?
Yeah, but I added a link.
What? Oh, you did?
If you click on the link that I sent him, it brings you to Target.com, the pacifiers section.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Dude, he needs a binky. Like, if he's still scared, if he's still saying don't get too excited, then he needs a whoopee and a binky while he's watching the Eagles.
It's a whoopee in your house? That's what it was?
Well, however you want to call it. We got Gray Doggy. Gray Doggy's a stuffed animal.
We had Boo Boo Bunny.
Yeah, see?
The frozen Boo Boo Bunny that, like, if you got a Boo Boo.
Well, that's what he needs.
I think he does.
That's what Mike needs. Don't get too excited. Get the hell out of here,
get
dude.
out, Mike.
They just beat the Ravens in Baltimore following a win in L.A. against the Rams. They've won 8 straight games.
And they are clearly, by the way, and across it, they're the second favorite team to win the Super Bowl.
But don't get too excited.
They're the second. Don't get too excited. Stop it.
Watch. If the Eagles win, he'll say, hey, don't get too excited. The Super Bowl parade might have bad weather.
Exactly.
That's what that guy's going to say. All right, coming up next, we'll hear more from you. You can text and you can call on 610-632-0975. And also, you'll hear for the first time today the montage that our man Brendan Gunn does a great job putting these together, our associate producer. You're going to hear a montage of yesterday's Eagles victory on the road in Baltimore against the Ravens. It is a victory football Monday right here, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now is the time to become a Fanatic MVP. Go right now to 97.